I got started playing music. My mom played guitar and would sing and write songs and whatnot. So I guess that's when I first knew that you could play music in the living room, and make songs and make music. So, early, but I didn't start playing until I was 15, 14. Piano, which I play a little piano, but I'm not a classically trained piano player, which I would like to be. So I can play piano now. If I had any other instrument that I would like to learn that I don't have any experience on, probably maybe violin or fiddle, one or the other. Um, I I usually have some feeling that will trigger a thought that I can make a song that sounds like that feeling feels. And it could be fast, generally it's slower, but I try to make the sounds and the music evoke the same feeling in the listener. So also when I'm listening to other music, if I hear little things they do, I think I can do some variation of that and it would sound nice, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I am a gut player, so my first step is usually tinkling along on a keyboard, trying to just play something that sounds good. I don't write it out and all that and then try to play it. I just play it until it sounds good, and then I build upon and evolve that. So it all comes from inside. So I'm not good enough to say, I want these scales and these notes and these modes. I simply always have gone, if it just sounds good, then it's good. So that's how I get started. Just playing around until something sounds good. Then I keep it and build on it. That's the greatest thing about this software and the workstations that you have, is that it gives people who are not musicians or are not trained instrument players the ability to do all this. So compared to what I used to do in the old days, and when I say that I mean with old 4-track recorders, you basically get 6 or 8 tracks if you're lucky, and at the time I was doing drums, 2 guitars and a bass, drum machine, all that business. But the new software and the new workstations that we have available now, we can do entire enormous orchestrations, and we can manipulate every bit of minutia as far as we want to go, and it really is infinite, the possibilities you can come up with. So it has broadened my range. That's how it's changed. It's gone from 4 or 5 instruments to 20, 30, 50, and I love that. I think that's really neat, and it's all coming from one person, so I think that's really neat too. Without a doubt, it is the discovery of something that you really like, regardless of if anybody else likes it. If you, like I just said, are playing around and something sounds good, and you build on that, and then maybe towards the end or middle of the song it can change directions. You know, you can do something completely different and tie it together, and you never thought about doing it. It just came to you out of the blue right then and there, and it's like a path just took a hard turn. And myself, sometimes I do that, and I can't believe that I came up with it. Like, it sounds like something that I would enjoy listening to on the radio or on an album or something, but no, it's straight out of here, and it never existed before I put it together. That discovery and that, especially that change of direction, and it all works, that's definitely my favorite part. You know, I wouldn't really go back and change anything, because everything that I have done has led me to right here, and I'm okay with where I am in my life. Pretty happy. However, all that being said, I would probably pursue a more collegiate level theory and composition music classes. You know, if I didn't have to worry about money, especially, because most of those folks starve. But if you didn't have to worry about that and could just devote it to the art, I think that would be neat. I would go back to school right now if I didn't have to worry, you know, to make a living. I would go back and get all sorts of classical music degrees. It's hard to say a favorite, because they, you know, each one was my favorite at the time I uploaded it. So I guess my favorite at the moment was the last one I uploaded, which is GB Keys on SoundCloud. And it's simply because it's the last one I did, and I love the composition. It really needs lyrics terribly, but the guitar sounds great, the piano sounds great. It changes direction, just like I mentioned, kind of near the end, and gets real up tempo and a little bit harder, and it's just a great sounding song. The mix is good, and it is completely and 100% from me. Never existed before in the history of the world, and now I pulled it out of thin air and posted it online. I think that's cool. Do it. Don't wait until you get a perfect setup. Don't wait until you get nice high-end instruments or, you know, software or computers. If all you have is a cassette recorder, start recording and making music, and work on that. Work on writing, because if you're going to be a writer, or you want to be a songwriter, it really has nothing to do with your equipment. You know, the greatest songs ever written were just one man and one guitar. So don't wait, and don't get discouraged. Keep doing it. I've been doing it 35 years now, and I'm absolutely nowhere close to where I'd like to be. But it's a process. Since I don't do it professionally, I can take my time and make it fun and easy for me. I didn't want to try to do it as a living or even as a supplemental income. I just want to do it just for me, just for fun, and just for things that I like doing. So do that too. Don't write for any other thing than to make yourself fulfilled. I don't know if it's an influenced, activities through daily life. It may have. I can tell you that learning instruments broadens your mind and makes you think differently. And it makes you an interesting person. And it takes discipline and it takes practice. And it's not for everybody, but some people, they couldn't possibly live without it. So I say go for it, and if that's what you like, if that's what floats your boat, do it and never stop. That's my advice.